What's up, everybody? Good late afternoon or early evening for some of you guys. We got some Seahawks injury updates. Basically, everything pertains to an injury in this update because today was a relatively light day of practice, if you can even call it a day of practice at all. First of all, though, there's going to be a stream tonight. I'm streaming with the Hawk's Nest. It'll be hosted on his channel, but it'll be mirrored to my channel as well. So everybody can go to whichever channel they want to or go to both. But we're going to be doing pregame for the Packers preseason game. Obviously, pregame for a preseason game, there's not necessarily a ton to go into, but we're going to go into whatever there is to go into. So definitely try to tune in tonight. We're going to talk about this final preseason game, talk about the things that we're looking for, the things that we want to see. So tonight starts at about 7 o'clock Pacific. So just a couple hours from now. Hope to see you guys there. All right, so the updates that we got concerning injured players from Pete Carroll today are as such. Got some good news, some not so good news, some to be determined news. The first, of course, is about Jamal Adams. The Seahawks did not have a walkthrough this morning, so Adams wasn't able to participate in the walkthrough because it didn't exist. So logically speaking, now that he's off the PUP, he can start doing walkthroughs. So next week, we're going to find out about Adams being able to do walkthroughs next week when the week of practice starts. So nothing is off schedule yet. Initially, there was a report that oh, Adams is off the PUP, but he's still not participating in the walkthrough, which was weird. And then it was clarified that yeah, we didn't have a walkthrough at all this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and call that good news because he's still on track as of right now. However, it does sound like that Adams is not going to play in week one. When you think about it, the walkthrough, let's say he starts doing the walkthroughs next week. That means you're probably looking at him getting back on the actual practice field, practicing with the team the week after, because that's how long it took for Jordan Brooks. And at that point, you're less than a week away from the first game. So odds are good that he's not going to play in week one, I think. Brooks sounds like he will. So if you're going to say that Brooks is going to be out there week one, but it's, close, and Adams is a little bit behind, then I think the logical assumption is that Jordan Brooks will be able to play, but Adams will not. However, with that assumption also comes the assumption that Adams would then be able to probably play starting in week number 2. And that's when we're really going to need him. That's going to be the start of the process of us really needing him. I'm going to continue to hammer this. This first game at home against this Rams team that is completely hollowed out. They've got a couple of guys at the very top. They've got a couple of superstar level guys, theoretically. Apparently Cooper Kupp is going to play, by the way. They've got a couple of good role players on that offense, and then the bottom just completely drops out. So Adams, Brooks, Witherspoon, JSN, I don't really care who's missing that game. You should be able to find a way to win that game, and I will fully expect it. So if we need these guys to sit out for week one, I got no issue with that, and I don't believe it provides some sort of ready-made excuse for this team to lose a game they have no business losing. All right, so that's the update on Jamal Adams. Unlikely to play week one seems to be the assessment here, but still making progress. As for some other notes concerning injured players, Witherspoon, as has been said before, should return to practice next week. It was good to hear it out of Carroll's mouth because a lot of the time you just kind of make assumptions and you correlate this was said, therefore this. But Carroll straight up said today that Witherspoon should be returning to practice next week, which would mean that he would have little less than 2 weeks to get ready for that first game because you have the final preseason game and then it's still another 2 weeks to the first game. So that's good news, obviously. Now, I don't know what that says to his ability to actually play in that first game. Again, I'll say it. If he has to miss that first game, so be it. No problem. But initially you'll probably see him do walkthrough stuff, and then eventually he'll get back on the field. The injury he had was minor. It wasn't like the Adams or Brooks situation at all, but I don't know how quickly he's actually going to get back up to full speed. So this is a little bit of a race against the clock, but he's definitely got a chance. We also got an update on JSN. Surgery went well, but if you listen to Pete Carroll's words, it almost sounds like he's admitting that the timeline that he offered up was optimistic. The 3 to 4 week thing, he basically said, like, yeah, we're being optimistic about it. He talked about how the procedure was a little complex. I don't know, it sounds like he's acknowledging that, yeah, the 3 to 4 week thing is me being a little pie in the sky. So I don't know if maybe he's just trying to curb enthusiasm. I don't know if he's like subtly trying to acknowledge the fact that JSN will miss a little more time than just the first game, but there it is. But hey, at this point, all you can hope for is the surgery going well. So it did, and sounds like everybody's pretty happy with where that is. Derek Young, however, we got no update on. Carroll had nothing to say about Derek Young beyond what we already knew. I will say I already kind of have a bad feeling about Derek Young personally. Sounds like he's going to need surgery, and I expect him and Mike Morris to miss the first month or so. I think both guys are going to go on the short-term IR, and hey, again, these are bit players on our team. Derek Young is a number 4 receiver / special teamer, and Mike Morris is a rotational defensive lineman. If they need to miss a month, then that's another thing we should be able to punch through. But I do feel like Derek Young's probably going to go under the knife at some point in the next week or so. Other injury notes, Jonathan Sutherland was out and unclear when he will return. Again, that's another player who you might not even be able to call him a bit player because he might not even make the team. In fact, I don't think he will, especially now. However, Oluwatimi is making further progress, and it is believed that he will be able to play on Saturday. That's big. That's great news. That's awesome. I really want to see what Oluwatimi can do against Green Bay. Evan Brown's playing fine. I got no real issue with the way Evan Brown is playing. He's overall providing at least capable center play for this team. But Oluwatimi, I still think he would have had a chance to maybe leapfrog Evan Brown on the depth chart if he didn't get hurt. And these reps are going to give him a chance to take the job later. If Evan Brown's not playing well or if he gets hurt, Oluwatimi needs these reps to be ready. And I really hope he can play on Saturday. And sounds like we're getting that. That was really about it. There wasn't really anything in terms of like on-field highlights or anything like that. It was basically just a bunch of injury updates. Landers returned to practice yesterday, by the way, so he should be good to go for the game on Saturday as well. So we'll at least have enough to get through this final preseason game. Hopefully, no further injuries, and hopefully we can get to week 1 in a pretty good state. All right, stream tonight. Be there. I'm going to talk about this Packers game, but those are your injury updates for now. Pretty decent news, I would say, all around. Overall, nothing terribly unexpected, just kind of everything staying on the same schedule. Didn't hear anything about Abe Lucas, by the way, so my assumption would be he was out there because nobody was talking about it. If he missed 3 days in a row, there would have been some buzz. And yeah, that's all I got. See you guys later, and go Hawks.